What's up, guys? I'm Crystal Lee Naomi, aka Jasmine Borders on Tyler Perry's Sisters. Be sure to subscribe to the Haves and the Have-Nots review for not only reviews on the Haves and the Have-Nots, but also on Sistas. And while you're at it, give your girl a follow on Instagram at Crystal Lee Naomi. And I'll see you every Wednesday at 9, only on BET.
All right, Sisters fans, this week we have episode 24, but you know what? Let's go back to episode 23, Home for a Queen. One of the better episodes of the season, I gotta admit. I know this review's a wee bit late, but with the Ruthless copyright battle won and, being able to do those videos, I had to do Ruthless first. Plus, it is, happy Easter, everyone. Happy Easter. Hope everyone has a great Easter Sunday, Easter Monday. If you don't celebrate Easter, I hope you have a great week regardless. Stay safe. I know this definitely isn't the Easter most people had planned, definite lack of Easter egg hunts and whatnot. Quick segue. I did venture out to Kroger tonight or last night, but don't worry, I went during their last hour of operation around 9 p.m. because it closed at 10. The store wasn't above capacity. It was only a couple people roaming around. Sadly, I ventured out to almost no avail because the Easter aisle 50% off was just torn to pieces already. So I'm guessing people went out, bought stuff that way they can have makeshift Easters at their houses for their kids and all, which actually does make sense now that I think about it. I was able to score a few Cadbury eggs, Reese's eggs, and a couple Hershey bars. Got some from a roommate as well because I asked him hey man, wish me luck out there, anything you want. So I was able to manage to scavenge up a couple things for us. And, I got a couple other essential items, not toilet paper and paper towels, more so Hot Pockets and cereal. And I pulled a Maurice, got me some pork skins and some microwave popcorn. Okay, so all jokes aside, this episode, I'm going to give it a 9 out of 10. I think it was pretty solid from start to finish. The Andy Gary stuff, oh my God, wasn't bad, but I was annoyed. So let's just look at this episode from the Karen perspective for one. Definitely you had Zach and Karen going through the motions. I think at one point Karen got some messages on her phone, which were some photos of her and Zach. And if I'm not mistaken, whoa, Zach with a beard? I mean, to be honest, I think we're all trying to grow out our beards due to the fact that barbershops and everything are closed right now. But it was pretty interesting to see that. I mean, imagine being on a date with your current boo and you're getting text messages from your ex with pictures of the good times you had together. Kind of weird, but I mean, that's what happens when you're bored. You'll be scrolling through old messages and messaging people you honestly have no business to message. But most of the episode with Karen had to do with the fact that, she was at her apartment. Aaron comes over for dinner and they have Chinese food. Somebody commented, I think it was on my sister's Facebook group. They're like, did you notice how little food Aaron had in those Chinese food boxes? I died. I mean, maybe there was more in the box, but they only decided to eat a little. I ain't gonna lie. Whenever I, get takeout, I'm not doing little by little. Well, then again, I'm usually eating alone, so it's not like I care who sees, but putting only a couple things on my plate, that ain't gonna fly. I want to eat it while it's hot and fresh. So they're basically having a nice dinner, and Aaron goes back in terms of, how they first met at the grocery store and how Karen isn't anything like how she was at the store. But to be honest, if you go back to that early episode when they first met, Aaron did not approach her in the best way possible, and that's why she snapped at him. And I remember saying during my episode reviews at that time that in this damn show, men have no luck in the grocery store. Aaron getting told off by Karen, Danny running into her ex. It's just it's not a good time. So if you go to a grocery store, mind your business. Well, even if you mind your business, you still want to get attacked, but sheesh. But yeah, their bonding seems to be going well, and she is a strong-willed person, but at the end of the day, she has vulnerabilities and is soft and caring like everyone else. It's just that she puts up her exterior, and if she is kind of close to you, then she'll let her guard down a little bit. So this scene was really nice, just kind of those two having a nice quiet dinner. And of course, the Zach photos kind of, send Karen for a loop. He joked about giving her a foot massage, which is a nod to their first date, I believe. And yeah, it's just the little things like that that I like. So moving on, now I want to say the Andy stuff for last. Sabrina kind of had a supporting role in this episode because Calvin is asleep, basically recovering from the alcohol he drank a lot of. Sabrina gets a call from Maurice in the hospital, and this is one of the best scenes from the episode. She goes over, sees Maurice, and he's always in his joking mood, but at the same time he lays it down for the LGBTQ community in regards to there ain't no sense of you crying, enough tears have been shed. Not to make a joke, well, Maurice was making jokes, but it just really gave me that all my life I had to fight being gay, being black, and just all that stuff led to me being ousted by my family and finding a home at the drag. Like those people took me in. So I guess you could say that's in reference to the title Home for a Queen. It's like they were family for Maurice when his own family wasn't. And man, yeah, those pork skins made me get a bag myself. So I can't be mad at him for that. But I mean, it's really interesting because Tyler Perry knows how to write a great monologue. Not just his writing, but the delivery from Maurice was so damn good. And they did catch Alonzo. They did catch him, an ex-basketball star. And basically, Maurice is like, ain't nothing going to happen to him. It's just going to be like the internet saying right now, ex-athlete beats up a freak. So basically, it's just one of those situations where the public and media is going to present the hate crime one way as regard to the reality of it. And Maurice fought as much as he could, so Alonzo didn't leave unscathed. So really, it was a great scene. I mean, like Maurice telling Sabrina, like, stop judging that man. If you love him, you love him. And I mean, when he started crying and just saying, bitch, that dress and those shoes are atrocious. And I mean, Sabrina looked adorable. But yeah, Maurice, I mean, he was still the same. He said he's pretty much going to stretch out this, I guess you could say, inconvenience into a vacation for as long as he needs. So Maurice, get well soon. Hope you're not gone from the show that long. I mean, I don't even know if he's going to be gone per se. Like, we're not going to see Maurice until maybe season 2. But if this was his last episode for a while, he certainly left his mark. So that was a fantastic scene. Danny and Zach, we're kind of in the same place with, them. Danny just being ready to go out and, most likely trying to recover from the whole lack of attention because Preston isn't calling or messaging her anymore. Her and Zach go at it. Zach wants to go out. Danny's like, you got money for drinks? Like, no, I took my last $7 to go to get you a steak at the pet store. So he decides to stay in. And, Danny leaves and Zach is encountered by Miss Lisa. And this was another great speech, another great scene. I'm sorry I got a little excited there, but this episode really had great, talks between characters. Basically, it's almost like, Sabrina was sad, but Maurice is like, hey, stop that. There's been enough tears from my community. Here's what you need to do in order to make things better for your life in regards to how you interact with somebody from this community. Or in this case, Calvin, who is indirectly involved with the community due to his 2 dads, but in a way his lifestyle reflects somewhat of a LGBTQ member. I guess it's the best way to word that. I hope I worded that correctly. And then on the flip side, you have Miss Lisa telling Zach, like, look, you need to stop being down on yourself, stop being like, giving up. Yeah, you have a record, but guess what? Yes, as a black man, you already have the odds stacked against you, and a record doesn't make anything better. But at the same time, if you want better, you need to do better. You need to act. Again, on point, the writing and the delivery of the damn speeches. All I got to say is, and I'm not saying this because I know a lot of people are like, Zach is annoying. It's this, he's immature. And I say this a lot about TV shows and everything, especially, more specifically Tyler Perry shows, because this is what I mostly talk about on the channel. I feel like a lot of people watching these shows, and again, I'm only speaking from my perspective based off what I see in the comment section of my videos, just putting that out there. And again, I'm not trying to say, I hope this doesn't come off as like, oh, you're bitter because you've been single for a long time. Yeah, I have been single for a long time, but I don't think that a relationship will automatically fix everything. Like, yes, it definitely feels good to have somebody by your side to help you carry the load and things like that. But I don't think that getting in a relationship will hit a switch that will automatically make you a better person. That's not to say you can't find someone who will help bring out the best in you, but really, unless you're motivated to change, then honestly, you're not going to change. I think Zach has a lot of growing up to do. And yes, he does have a job at the airport. And yeah, I mean, a lot of people do ship him and Danny, and I can definitely understand why, because the chemistry between the two is great. But I think Zach needs to work on Zach before he tries to get into a relationship with anyone else. And sadly, that might mean that, you know, Karen might move forward with Aaron. But at the same time, Zach needs to become a better person, and I believe the potential is there. So what I like about the Tyler Perry writing in this episode is, as a black man myself, which thankfully, you know, 28 years, I don't have a criminal record, and I hope that does not change, you know, for the remainder of my life. But I can see that, yes, Zach definitely feels like the odds are against him. It's just that he needs to make better decisions in life. And as a result of that, you know, he can definitely make things better for himself. And whether or not Karen is the woman he ends up with, he'll be a better man in his next relationship, whether it be him and Karen getting back together, him and Danny getting together, or him just finding someone else completely, or, you know, somebody else different, someone differently in the long run. Then you switch over to Maurice. You know, I'm not a member of the LGBTQ community, but at the same time, Maurice was laying down such a very eloquent speech that it resonated with people who aren't part of the community. But guess what? Here's what you could do in order to, I guess you could say, what's the word I'm looking for? Instead of feeling sorry whenever a hate crime like this happens, make sure that, you know, you aren't part of that hate, whether it being judgmental or, you know, how you treat someone. So again, it really was like Tyler Perry speaking to LGBTQ. Sorry, I just don't want to say it wrong. It's like Tyler Perry was speaking to the non-LGBTQ community, and then also with the speech for Maurice, and then you're also speaking to the black men, or just black individuals. Well, let's just say black men in this case, to any black man, whether you have a criminal record or not. There's no excuse for you not to be a better man just because, you know, I know things are difficult. Obviously, being a black man, especially if you have a record, and yeah, if your dad wasn't around, yeah, it does suck because you didn't have a positive male role model in your life. But at the same time, if you want better, you have to do better. You have to be better in order to see change. Yeah, I think the overarching theme of the episode was be the change you want to see in the world by starting with yourself, whether it be like Maurice telling Sabrina about what she can do, and then Miss Lisa telling Zach what he needed to do. And to round things out, we're going to go back to the Jasmine, Gary, Andy stuff. So Jasmine at the beginning of the episode, and I've done a couple Jasmine videos already, so I've already kind of spoken on this. Especially check out the 32-minute video I did about Jasmine getting a spinoff. Trust me, that's a good video. Whether or not you feel Jasmine should get a spinoff, look at the video because I go over some very strong evidence as to why she should. Just keep that in mind. But she talks about how, why would you do this to me? What made you do this? Why did you just push me away? You got cold. Basically, she was saying that the reason her and Morris got together is because Gary just distanced himself from her. She felt so unwanted, so unloved, so weak and vulnerable. So when Morris came after her, she was kind of like putty in his hands. And then, you know, I know a lot of people are going on. It's like, man, what's up with the hospital asking all those dumb questions? Like, what's his name? Just go to the location. But allegedly, Gary did not hang up the phone. So it's like, the people at the hospital, did they hear everything that was said between the two? That is a good question. Honestly, I need to rewatch that scene. Should have done that before the video. But then again, we go over to the hospital. Gary was showing his ass. If I were Andy... Oh, also, speaking of Andy, let me put it this way. She goes to the meeting at work. Basically, she's being railroaded, being made an example of due to the fact that, hey, you know what? We encourage Morris and Miss Borders not to drop their charges when it came to suing the law firm because we've had some mishaps in the past and we were accused of not being accountable for our actions. So we're going to use you as an example, Andy. And before they can go any further, Andy was like, well, you know, my boss, and I forget his name, but yeah, he was the one that told me to take the case, even though I said there was a conflict of interest. And then the men on the board, on the bar, whatever the term is, they're pretty much disgusted, saying, you know what, you're fired. We're actually going to let you go, but he actually put together a severance package for you on your behalf that we actually agreed to. But you acting like this, fine, you take care of her yourself. And he pretty much says, like, what was it, like a 3-month severance package along with a recommendation letter, assuming she's not disbanded by the bar. So, yeah. And he's like, screw this, I'm going to fight. So we have a female David versus Goliath battle here, which I love because this is great setup for events that will take place in season 2. So then Andy gets the phone call from Gary, rushes over to the hospital. Gary doesn't tell the whole story about exactly what happened. I get that he was flustered by the entire event. I mean, literally, I would be too, especially if he throws somebody as fine as... Well, then again, if Jasmine came to me with a baseball bat, would I move out of the way, or would I think this is some kind of kinky thing? Okay, that was a weird statement to make, but then again, I've been single for a while, so I really don't know what accounts for relationship goals these days. The hashtags say one thing, but the actions of men and women say another. Just throwing that out there. But if she did try to dump my mom's ashes into the gas tank of a car, I would feel some kind of way about that. I'm like, girl, what kind of freaky stuff you doing? It's like Kevin Hart said, girl, you got to ease me into your level of nasty. It's like pineapples, just pineapples. Yeah, back when Kevin Hart was hilarious in his earlier stand-ups. Oh, man. Which one was that? Was it? No, it wasn't. Let Me Explain. Seriously Funny. Which one was it? The one he was like, all right. You going to learn today. Huh? What? Hang on. Okay. I'm a grown little man, seriously funny. What was it? Was it Laugh at My Pain? I think it was Laugh at My Pain. Yeah. Seriously fun. No. I'm a grown little man, seriously funny, Laugh at My Pain. Let Me Explain and What Now. So yeah, it was Laugh at My Pain. That's the one I'm referencing. My bad. But yeah. So Gary is just being a complete asshole. If I were Andy, I would have gotten up, left with Ben, who I believe was a friend from her law school days, who is right across the street, comes over to assist Gary with what's going on. So 1 minute and that's his biggest thing, not listening to Andy. And okay, I don't want to go on a rant here. Guys, I did not hate the scene. And look, the KJ and Gary's actor, which I forgot his name, they did a great job. Don't get me wrong. I'm just and I'm agitated because they did such a great job. I just hated the characters in the scene. Gary goes from not leaving the hospital, as Andy suggests, because he wants to know the condition of the mother of his children. Fair enough, but she makes some valid points of what if because he doesn't know her well-being right now. So what if she regains consciousness or whatever, and then tells the story of how she thinks her version of how things played out, which could result in Gary getting arrested. So he's like, I'm not leaving. I'm like, fine, okay. She calls Ben because even though Gary wants Andy to represent him, what I thought Andy was going to say was, look, I don't think I should represent you because based on everything that's going on in terms of the lawsuit at the law firm I work at and all this other crazy stuff going on with the affair, it might be a huge conflict of interest. It would seem way too coincidental that, oh, okay, so you throw your wife off a garage and you're being represented by the woman you were having an affair with. It would look bad. So that's why she gets Ben, who's an expert in this kind of situation. He gets pissed off. So basically, you go from worrying about the well-being of your wife / mother of your child. I get that. Yes, Andy was right, but I can understand Gary's point of view in that situation. I'll admit. But to go from being upset about that to not being introduced over the phone as your boyfriend, that was complete bullshit. Then when Ben shows up, you're a complete asshole, not shaking his hand, not giving him the full, telling Andy, oh, you can tell him what happened. Gary, you didn't even tell Andy everything that happened. I mean, you told her bits and pieces, but you didn't tell, like, all the times you tried to walk away. Like, I literally did the breakdown video of, did Jasmine bring this on herself? Gary was trying to de-escalate the situation on at many points during their confrontation. Like, it was revealed this was at the parking garage near Andy's place. So like I said in one of those videos, hey, even if Gary was just leaving to get some food or whatever, not to go back over to the house, but to just go anywhere, his car and everything still would have been wrecked. So we got that confirmation here because it would have been a lose-lose no matter what. But there was a lot leading up to, her being thrown off of the garage. So for him just to sit there and not even want to talk to Ben, that was a stupid move. Then when Ben's like, okay, yeah, what we can do is I can get an officer down here and you can file a report before she does. Oh, no, we'll go down to the station. Motherfucker, you're asking to be in handcuffs. Then he just curses at him, and then Ben leaves. And then what I loved about it is like, Ben is trying to ask her out, and then Andy's like, no, I got a lot on my plate right now. I'm thinking to myself, you ain't got no job, Andy. You just got fired. And then Gary's like, what the hell is this? We're together. Like, oh, I didn't know. So then Ben leaves, and then once again, Gary's just losing his mind. And then when Andy stands up for himself, hey, just keep your voice down. Motherfucker, you were just yelling and cursing at Ben and Andy just a few seconds ago, and now you want to be calm. It's like, I haven't done this in a while, and I'm sorry. It's just like, you lying. And look, and then Sabrina comes by, sees Andy and Gary there, and she's suspicious about everything. And then when she leaves, it's like, hey, don't leave, don't do anything. She's going to call Danny in a second. And then, that leads to Danny. And then, she doesn't know what's going on, basically bringing up her season-long trope of saying they're hiding things from us, which she's absolutely correct in this case. So then Sabrina calls Karen and is like, look, I'll call Andy, find out what's going on, and then I'll let you know, I promise. And, it's just a lot of, he said, she said in this situation. So I'm thinking to myself, well, damn, Andy, you're willing to just sit with Gary despite everything that's going on. Gary slowly but surely is showing his true colors. Again, what happened with Jasmine was a circumstance outside of his hands, which I will agree with him there. But how he's acting now, that's inexcusable. So I'm thinking, well, damn, Andy, when it comes down to it, I think you most likely just stay with Gary than be with your girls. That's what I think it boils down to. But like I said before, if I were Andy, I would have left that waiting room with Ben. I would have done that right then. Let Gary sit there and get arrested. But then that begs the question of, and this is how I'm going to end the video here, Andy needs to pick a side, because there's no way she can just fight her own battle against the law firm as well as what's going on with Gary. Because Gary needs just a woman who, I think at the end of the day, no matter what he says, he wants a woman that will just be submissive to him. That's what I really think is going to happen. I mean, that's what he really wants, but that's just my opinion. So let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. I thought this was a great episode. And as you can tell by my emotion towards the end with the Andy part, yeah, there's a lot of shit going down, and we only got 2 episodes, but it's going to be hot. It's going to be hot. So you know the drill. Make sure you like the video, subscribe, and hit the bell notification icon. That way you don't miss out whenever I post new content. Also follow me on social media. Links are in the description below. If you haven't done so already, comment your favorite moment from the episode itself. I did a trailer breakdown, so be on the lookout for that. This week's upcoming episode, A Bad Feeling, I believe is the episode title. And let's see here. Oh, shout out to the patrons over on Patreon for supporting me. You can join for as little as $2 a month to watch content that I don't post on YouTube. It's exclusive to Patreon. Or if you would like to contribute another way, you can donate to PayPal. There's a link in the description to the channel. A couple bucks, I'd appreciate it. Or you can hit me up on Cash App. Not mandatory, but it is appreciated. But you watching this video helps me out in more ways than you can imagine. So all that's to say, thanks so much for tuning in. More videos are on the way as the week goes on. And happy Easter again. And I hope you have a great day.